Oh yeah. So it was kind of interesting. I told you before there was some rules in place, like you're not allowed to get up from your board, from your game, which it was really hard. Not, the sitting was actually fine. Like I didn't physically need to get up, but I really wanted to see the other games. You know, like for the whole tournament, you don't ever get to even for 10 seconds look at another game. It's hard because, you know, I get to know more and more people at the tournament, and it's interesting. Also, we were in the ballroom of the hotel, so all of the players, there were about 160, they were all in a single room. And I like to, when that happens, I like to go to the under 1000 section and look at their games because they're so funny and interesting. But yeah, I had to sit down the whole time. So there was that. The other thing though is because of COVID, they spread out the tables. They spread out the boards on the tables. So I had so much room. It was so nice. I like, you know, because often, you know, it's close, and you often don't even really have too much room for your water and whatever, and even the score sheet. Sometimes you're close to the other person, but I had so much room and I loved it. So
you couldn't just stand up and
you're not even allowed to. Some people stood up just to like get the blood flowing to their legs. And then the arbiter would slowly walk over and then whisper to them, like, sit down. So you couldn't even stand.
You could stretch, right?
Yeah, you could do that and stuff. But, well, part of it is because it's hard for the organizers to even allow us to run a tournament. So they had to be very sure that they were following the guidelines and following the rules. Otherwise, they might not let us have another tournament, right? So I understand why they did that, but yeah, it was still a bit difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. I mean, most of the people stand up a lot during the games.
Yeah.
I do it myself. I try to remain seated, but at least once during the game, I kind of feel the need.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I'm actually fine sitting, but as I say, sometimes you want to see another game. You are allowed to go to the bathroom because they can't prevent that, but straight to the bathroom and back, like no looking at games or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the magic is going to return once this comes to pass.
So did you look at all the games or one or two?
I looked at all of them.
Okay.
And I made some annotations on 1 and 2.
Okay.
But I know what happened in all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So how do you feel during the tournament?
Well, it was kind of amazing how I blundered in every single game, and in some of them I made a lot of blunders. Like the last two games, well, especially the last game. Oh my God, there were probably like 12 blunders. Although in the last game I was on 1 minute for 40 moves. Right, I had 1 minute for 40 moves, and still recording, and I was still recording the time too. Even though I have 1 minute on the clock, I actually got score sheets here. Like I was still like this is the second sheet. The second sheet, I'm still recording the time. I actually didn't feel. What was that?
What's the game from the last round? Which one?
You have it on chapter 7.
Oh,
yeah.
The first one I put. Okay.
Yeah. But so I blundered every game, but I actually didn't feel that bad though. I actually think, like, I don't hate how I played. I mean, I blundered, but I don't know. Like, I felt decent, even though I blundered a lot. I think some of it was time trouble. Like the last two games were time trouble. I should have won those last two games, like definitely.
Two draws. Yeah.
Yes, I should have won those, but that was time pressure was the reason I didn't. It's not like I couldn't figure out how to win. It was definitely time pressure. The second day, I'm trying to think. What was the other game I played? I played one game the first day, and then I played. Oh yeah. So the second day, that's when I had no sleep. That was the fire alarm and everything. That was when I had no sleep. But I still think I played decently, like even though I didn't have much sleep. And the third day, I actually had a great sleep. One of the best sleeps I've had at a chess tournament. Because the bed was so comfortable and I had no noise distractions or anything. Yeah. So long story short, yeah, I think like I blundered every game, but overall, I felt okay.
Okay, cool. With which one would you like to start? Because all of them have something to them. I think there is one or two games. The ones that you lost, you kind of fell for some traps.
Yeah, we could look at any of them, maybe in order of the way of rounds, like round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it doesn't matter to me.
Okay. What was the first round?
The first one was the whole game was my opponent's prep. That was Tyler against Taylor. Round, yeah. So my opponent didn't have to think this whole game.
Oh.
This was all prep. Something he heard Fabi say somewhere. It was
This one. This is Petrov where he chases your queen.
Yeah, there was the knight a4.
Put your queen on a8. Yeah, I mean, there's not that much. This is all theory. It's quite okay, but yeah, you just fell for a trap. If you play b takes c3, it's just a normal position.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not that much to say about this.
Yes.
What was the time for both of you when you played? How much time
on here, move 13?
you have on
13 or 14? Well, on move 13, do you want after I took on b7 or here?
Well, how much time did you spend?
Oh, on that move, 9 minutes.
9 minutes.
Yeah, it just and obviously the only thing I'm looking at here is how does my queen get trapped? But I just overlooked knight a4.
Yeah, it's reasonable. It's not such an easy move to see. It's not that hard to miss.
Because I knew 100%. I knew 100% that like, okay, this is definitely being greedy. But I thought if I can take the pawn and get away with it, like I'm gonna harness the inner Korchnoi and I'm gonna take that pawn. Yeah, so I was cautious because I knew that if I was wrong and I missed a way, like I'm just going to lose the game. But I thought, well, I'm going to be brave because if I don't see a way for him to trap my queen, then I'm going to play it. But I just overlooked knight a4. Yeah.
Did he play all of this quickly?
Yeah. This was all prep. This was all.
But he blitzed his moves, or he?
Well, he had an hour and 32 minutes here.
Yeah. Well, that.
I talked to him after the game. He saw that there was he remembers that Caruana mentioned somewhere that this line knight a4, like you can't take b7 because of knight a4. So he remembered that. So that's why he didn't even have to think this whole game. This was all he knew about this already.
Yeah, I mean, this is your typical scenario. You see this a lot in elite tournaments when they just leads their moves away. They are really into deep prep. And if your opponent didn't spend even a second in all his opening moves, he didn't stop to consider this, then you have to be extra suspicious and extra cautious because he has all of this figured out, and it's probably good. So a move like queen takes b7, I'm glad that you were brave enough so that you played it because you trusted in your calculations. You need to trust your calculations, otherwise you're just not going to punish your opponent's mistakes. But yeah, maybe that was an alarm, so to speak, because yeah, if he bleeds all his moves away, then he probably has something here against queen takes. The thing is, yeah, it wasn't easy to see knight a4. This is a great move. It's not so easy to spot. To be honest, when I saw the move queen takes b7 and you annotated it with 2 question marks, I was wondering, okay, what happens here? And I didn't immediately see knight a4. I had to look for what's wrong with queen takes b7. After I was told that this was a bad move, and only then, yeah, I found this idea in e7. But yeah, it's easy to miss, I guess. So tough luck. Queen takes, queen d7. Again, that's awesome move. He still has this.
I was just, the only reason I played on is because this was like a couple minutes into the game. I didn't want to be the first one out of the big ballroom to leave the room. That was the only reason I played on. So I just played a few moves until someone else left, and then I could. So I told him to, because I didn't want to be disrespectful and just keep playing. But yeah, I did not want to be the first one out. Right? Like, it's embarrassing. So.
Yeah, that's really tough luck. But yeah, happens. What's the second one?
Second game, yeah, I don't think there was really much to learn from that first one. Just don't take on b7 next time, basically. The second game was round. Oh.
Yeah, and maybe this extra caution when you see that your opponent has it all figured out and he's in very deep opening prep.
Well, the thing was, I was in opening prep too up until that move, and then I spent 9 minutes on it. I was actually, I prepared for him, and like, I've seen this bishop f5 move before, but online. I've played against this a lot. But for him, yeah, I thought rook e8. So I prepared rook e8 for him, and then I was still going to go like the c4 queen b3 route. I mean, this is a typical Petrov line. So what he played, I played this type of thing before, but the knight takes c3 was a little bit new to me. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, the second round was against Andrew Shu. So that is chapter 9.
9.
Yeah, another man. The blunders I make this tournament is crazy, but yeah, it's.
This was the bishop b5 check line. Just let me.
I think you have the ratings wrong in all of the games, but it doesn't matter. But I noticed that. Yeah.
I just copied the 5 from the.
Yeah. Oh, did I put the wrong rating? They'll have to check. Interesting.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just copied the 5
Okay.
So these seats we should be fine.
By the way, I lost. I lost 3 points in the tournament.
3 points.
Yeah, it's not bad considering all the blunders. I'll take it.
Break-even result, because it's more or less what it's expected from your rating. If you lose 3 points, you can win 1, lose 1, but it's ballpark.
And I played a couple unrated, so I'll take it. I think that's fine.
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah. There are really few games.
Oh, sorry. Flip. I'll flip the board too. Yeah. Because if you want to flip it for both of us, you have to go to edit chapter and then orientation. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. I did it manually.
Yeah, orientation. Okay. C4. Oh, you have this knight b6 idea.
This was all prep, 100% prep for him.
The bishop on b5 looks.
Yeah, this was 100% prep. So I knew he was going to play bishop e3. I knew he was going to do this because I prepped for him. And bishop e3.
Strange, but he has to give up the bishop.
Exactly. Yeah, and he has to move the bishop or bishop a4. And it's not an easy. It's not the first move you would consider. So it's very easy for white to play this position wrong. So I was ready for him to play bishop e3, and
Yeah, because it's just one move, but the bishop is really misplaced on b5. It's really an awkward piece. He should probably just take on this. I like simple solutions. All his pawns are like squares. He's even going to play f3 in the future, so I like playing bishop takes and only then f3, bishop e3. I don't know. But bishop a4, well, I guess it's the alternative. Bishop e3, knight b6, great move. And now, well, this one is also...
Yeah, he spent 24 minutes. 24 minutes. And then he found the best move. Which is not, I don't think it's easy to find the best move here. Like,
time well spent.
Yeah. Good job to him. I mean, he dug in deep. He dug in deep and he found the best move.
Yeah, the problem is that the bishop is so awkward, and actually you had a6 and knight takes c4 after bishop a4. So yeah, 24 minutes. Wow, I wonder what he was thinking about. But
I think he was in shock that, like, he was looking for a solution because he knew a6 was coming, and he was trying to find the best way out of it, which he did find.
He might have seen something like we need two a6, bishop a4, knight takes, and you capture an e4. That all the pawns are hanging, and the bishop is not helping if it helps to go back to a4. So yeah, great move. It's an equalizer, I guess. D takes c, knight b3, and he seems to have enough for the pawn. But you mentioned a variation with c4 here, which kind of forces him to give a bishop pair. And you mentioned that you went entirely sure.
The end position that I calculated of, I think it was c4, queen takes d8, rook takes d8, bishop takes b6, a takes b6, and bishop takes c4. I didn't quite like that. I thought I have got double B pawns, and I thought I could have. I was trying to get. I was more ambitious because I knew I had a good position, and so I wanted more than that. After analyzing it deeper, it looks. There's some interesting lines with bishop d7 as a follow-up, but yeah, in that position, in my mind, I just didn't like it, so I ended up playing a worse move.
The pawns are actually quite cool. They give you the a file. This knight is basically dead thanks to the pawn on b6 because he can go knight c5, and you have the dark square bishop, which he hasn't. Let's see that position. Bishop takes, pawn takes. He recovers the pawn. The bishop pair is really important here. This bishop is a monster, actually. His central pawn is on a light square, so you're going to have control over the dark squares. Yeah, the pawns are double, that's right, but they're not so easy to attack, which often happens with double pawns. You also have the a file, which is a bit of a problem for him, especially since you have so many pieces pointing towards his queen side. Yeah, the main problem might be to find some way to finish development by bishop e7 followed by bishop c6, and I'll take black any day.
Yeah, well, here, this is what I put into my repertoire in the future, is bishop d7. The computer likes it because of b5. Because b5, and then we're threatening b4, yeah. So, and then we have that, and then we also have that bishop opens up as well. So, it's actually a very deceivingly strong move, bishop d7. But yeah, but in this position, when I was deciding if I wanted to play this, I just thought that these two pawns were weak. Like, I thought maybe black could even, or white might just put a. Well, sorry, he can't do that, but. I don't know. I just thought maybe he even just trades rooks or something, or puts a knight on b5. I just thought that these pawns would cause me great grief in an endgame.
Most of the time he spends trying to attack them, this bishop is going to become very strong. Yeah, dark square bishop. In fact, if white doesn't play very accurately, I think most of the lines are probably going to favor you. This bishop is just awesome, and he has no counterpart for it. Even if there's no b5, if you manage something like this, you play e6, put the knight on c5. Oh no, this bishop looks excellent. And the knights have, well, they don't have that many squares. I mean, knight b5 is a thing, but there's also the problem that you're leaving the center quite unguarded. This knight is going nowhere. This knight is a real problem for him. It's a really bad piece, and relocating it is not that easy, at least not in appearance.
Yeah, I think I think it's Grandmaster Robert Hess. I think he likes to say like a pawn 2 squares away from a knight dominates the knight.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
No a5, no c5. d4 is out of the question. You have the dark squares, not him. I remember that, I think it was in Silman's book, that he states something to the effect that old books used to treat double pawns as weaknesses. And he says they are not weaknesses. They are weaknesses only situationally, because there are so many positions where they're just fine that it's hard to even call them weaknesses anymore. I think these 2 pawns are one of those. Given how the pieces are distributed right now, they are nearly impossible to attack. They give you open files, which is one of their features. So they give you extra control of the dark squares without compromising c6, for example. You have both squares under control. So yeah, I would find it much more difficult to play as white.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a little bit of an advanced thing. I think this takes a bit of experience to know when, because I mean, like, I don't always hate double pawns, right? Like I know that a lot of beginners, they will avoid them at all costs, right? They'll give up their bishop to avoid double pawns at all costs. But in this position, I thought, okay, like, I mean, they're isolated, and like, and my light squared bishop can't go to b7, and yeah, I think I need a bit more experience to know when like this double pawn condition is actually a bit favorable.
You do have something to counterbalance it if you're going to think about it as a weakness, which is this huge bishop. The bishop on g7 is unopposed, and this is a long-term problem for him. I mean, even if he somehow manages to attack the pawn, your bishop is going to be so strong that you might have counterplay even in that case. But it's a good thing that you went through this lengthy analysis, because it's a position that has to be highlighted. I mean, this could have worked quite well. Though your move isn't terrible. I mean, you're really harsh, and you put a question mark.
Well, because I thought, because I think, I forget what the computer says here, but I think like I don't have an advantage anymore after knight bd7.
Yeah, not objectively. He's fine, but he also got out of the opening quite well. I still like your pieces better. I mean, this is probably going to fizzle out with many exchanges to some equal endgame, but you still have the bishop on g7, so it's not such a big problem.
Don't worry, I got a big blunder coming up in a couple moves.
Knight takes. This was all. I mean, had already captured the knight. You weren't counting, and your opponent wasn't either.
I don't know. I don't have a good explanation. The only thing I can chalk this up to is having just under 3 hours sleep. It was strange.
And it was a case for both of you, because you both White actually took a piece on d7 already.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a good explanation.
This is just equal, I guess. Bishop takes, queen takes. You can't be worse.
I think part of it too is that I think I've been going out of my way to like avoid what I deem as equality. So I'm trying to kind of not necessarily get into more complex positions, but avoid simplicity. And obviously this is a blunder, but that was kind of my thinking behind it. I didn't want to just trade and get to it. I was pushing for a win. So I that's why I was trying to create more pressure and not just.
I noticed that in some of your games.
That was kind of the theme. Other than blundering the tournament, the theme was that I was willing to take more risks and trying to push a little bit. Because in our last lesson from a couple of weeks ago, that was kind of your message. Now, I know you didn't tell me to blunder to do that, but there were your underlying message was kind of pushing for a little bit more, and that's kind of what I've been doing. Probably a bit too much, but
yeah, it stems from what the position is asking from you actually. If the position is dry, you can't force it to be different. And in any case, we dealt with some examples where you were actually better, in very good shape, and you were kind of scared of some imaginary attack by your opponent. That happened in those games that we reviewed. But this time around, let's say this is completely equal, which it probably is, or at least it's balanced. The game isn't over yet, and you're still going to make a lot of mistakes. This is anyone's game, and it's not because of your level. This is still a full fighting game for pretty much anyone. I can imagine Carlsen outplaying some GM or some very strong GM from this position with Black, for example. If you take a look at the computer, it's going to read 0-0 probably. I don't know. But that's just not true. Not from a human perspective. There are still 2 rooks, a couple of minor pieces. This pawn might be overextended if you manage to put pressure on it. You have the G7 bishop. From White's perspective, 95 might be a thing. I don't know. Maybe you try to catch an open file before opponent does. Pretty much anything can happen in this position. It's not the advantage. Maybe it's not the advantage you were hoping for, but you do manage to keep the game alive and going without the need of resorting to some strange measure. Don't be afraid about equal positions. If it's not a theoretical draw, it's still playable, and your opponents are going to blunder. It's just going to happen. Mistakes are going to be made. There's still a lot of game. Rook d8. This happens a lot. This is something my students ask me a lot. They try to keep the game alive, but the game is still alive. They think sometimes because it's equal, it's just going to be a draw, but normally that's not the case. Your opponent, in fact, was trying to do the same again.
Well, the funny thing is, that's actually the move that I thought he was going to play. I thought after I played Rook d8, I'm like, oh, he's got Bishop b6. So I was actually expecting Bishop b6. I never thought that Knight f6 was a thing until I came home and analyzed it with the computer. I don't know why, but So
what is this move doing? I was curious because I didn't quite. The bishop is not a desperado piece. It's just not under attack.
I don't know. It's funny because that's the only move I even looked at. I just thought. I know. We both thought. Both thought Bishop b6.
it really surprised me because the bishop is not even under attack to consider something like this.
I know it was kind of weird, right? But
Yeah, it's really strange. It's really strange that you consider that move as his problem move, and he goes and he plays it.
yeah. So I was just like, like bishop e6. Yeah. Then he blunders, I think. Yeah, and I thought this was game over still. Well, it is, right? Isn't it? He has knight f6 still.
Knight f6.
Oh, but it's queen. No, but then he can move his. Oh, I guess not, eh? Yeah. So is this?
No, you're fine then, I guess.
Oh yeah. You know, this was one of my issues this game. Once I played rook d8, I was already in a defeatist mindset because I thought it was game over. So I was kind of just playing on autopilot. You know, I was kind of I thought it was over, so I didn't really kind of evaluate things objectively after that. I just thought I was losing the whole time.
Yeah, neither you nor your opponent were counting.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was weird. Yeah, we both blundered like 3 or 4 times in a row. Yeah.
This would have sealed it.
And you know, this was another move. I thought now he's got knight d5. So I knew he was going to play knight d5, and I was planning queen d6. Just like when he played bishop, we were on the same wavelength, him and I. It's just like knight d5, and then here. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Like,
yeah, it's an incredible case of mutual blindness. It's incredible.
Yeah,
it happens, but yeah, in fact, you were expecting.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, just for the record and for the audience.
Yeah.
Like winning a piece.
Yeah.
Takes on d5 and then d7 is hanging. So in d6.
Yeah. So I think queen d6 though. I think that was largely influenced by the defeatist mindset. Like, thinking I had already lost. So I wasn't really. It was more like my hand was playing than my brain, because I thought I was losing. So that was obviously not something that's something that I need to work on.
Yeah. You should remember that chess is very generous. I mean, it gives you a lot of opportunities.
Second chances, yeah.
I mean, yeah, there are a lot of second chances. In this game, there were a lot. And you're going to have a lot of games where you will find that happens. I mean, even if you're completely losing, you're not playing against GMs. So chances are going to appear down the road, even if it's desperate, even if you're a piece down. I mean, in that case, you just have to stay positive because chances are going to come. It's not like, oh, I lost a pawn, he's going to just tear me apart. No. It's never that simple if you put yourself in your opponent's shoes, you know that it's never so easy.
So, yeah, I think being resilient, like resiliency is something I could definitely work on. And I know for sure when my opponents are resilient, it's the most annoying thing in the world. Playing against a resilient opponent, just resign. And then they don't resign, and then somehow they come back. You're like,
It's an important ability. I mean, if you take a look at strong players, they're going to make your life impossible. I mean, they try until they have nothing. I mean, really nothing. And you save a lot of points that way.
Yeah, I think.
Otherwise, you're never going to win with a swindle, and that's required. I mean, you need to swindle some games. You're not going to be in excellent shape out of the open in all your games. It just doesn't go like that. So you're going to have to save worse positions. You're going to have to win lost games. That's required to improve. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, like, I think one of the characteristics, the key differences between a grandmaster and an international master is that grandmasters are more resilient. Like they're willing to fight tooth and nail and to grind out like an equal end game or whatever. They're willing to just play on forever.
They always seem to have something. They always seem to have some resource. It's really hard to put the game away against them. That's true.
Right.
I can even show you an example of mine, which cost me an international master norm. I was totally winning, and my opponent kept putting different problems. I was winning throughout the game, but he didn't collapse. That's the point. He could have easily collapsed. Worst player would have certainly gone down easily because he was in really bad shape. But he didn't, and he kept finding the other. He was lost, but not forcingly losing. And then I blundered, and it was yeah.
So it's very frustrating, right?
Yeah, it's tough. You have to play very well until the very end, and that's what you should make your opponent do.
That's like playing. It's like playing a winning position against a computer, right?
Yeah, and if you lose with a clean conscience. Your opponent needs to know that he's going to need to play very well to defeat you. That's the point.
Right. They earned it. Yeah.
He played 7 takes B6. Oh my God.
I don't know what went on in this game. It was bizarre.
Yeah, well, this one was the winning combination. Pawn takes, knight takes f6. And he took with the wrong knight. Queen c5, yeah, and then the rook is just hanging. This one, in the context of
yeah,
was
I think there
this
was
more difficult.
Yeah, that was.
This is more difficult, but
Yeah.
even if you play this, it's still losing. But he had to find this move, which I highly doubt he would have given how things were going. Point being that the rook is hanging on the 8. Well, maybe he would have found it. I don't know.
I see.
But yeah, queen takes, knight takes, and then queen takes d8.
Wait, I can't take on b6?
Queen takes b6 right now.
Yeah.
Knight takes.
Yeah. Queen takes
And after
d1.
this exchange,
Then I take on b5. Oh, then he takes the knight, I guess.
oh yeah, and c8 is also hanging. So
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. At least an exchange up.
Yeah.
So yeah, queen c5, and then knight takes f6, and you
Yeah.
just hang the rook.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, this is a very odd game.
Yeah, I know. But this one I don't feel too bad about losing because I made at least two massive blunders. Like, if I lose a game with one blunder, it feels bad. But if I make two, I don't feel so bad because I deserve to lose. You know what I mean? So So I actually don't mind losing that one. But I'm also impressed though that he found the c5 move, like 24 minutes, and he found c5. Because
He found the most difficult one.
Yeah. And he's a younger guy too.
Oh. You knew him already?
No, I just mean I didn't know this guy, but I've seen him around the tournaments. I don't know. I think he's like maybe 14 or 15 years old, maybe.
Oh, he's a teenager.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the
third game is Mark Yao. Yeah.
Okay.
We got a Najdorf. Don't mess with my Najdorf. Don't. So if you did you read my comments on this game?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Because he
this was
prepared.
the
Yeah.
fatal. Oh yeah, your prep.
He
Yeah, he prepped
he
you
prepped, and
because of
I've
the
always
long
been
term
scared of this move. I'm always like, man, I should spend more time.
H5.
I should spend more time on that because that's a legitimately good move, and it's very rare. It's a very rare move, but it's good, and the computer loves it. And I've played against it before, but it's so uncommon that I don't have enough practice against it. Um, so
It kind of
that was good prep.
changes the essence
Hmm.
of what you're looking for, especially
Yeah.
because if you want to play the English attack
Hmm.
and he plays h5, well, you have to take a different turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't really familiar with the rising position. Guess um, you castle queenside. I don't think it's terrible, but you said 95 is the move. 95, and
Hmm.
after the changes bishop e2, you get to castle kingside.
Yeah.
Um,
That's my
it's say,
repertoire. I just forgot. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, I forgot. I was really it was really a toss up between knight d5 and castling here. I was trying to remember what I play. And I know that h5 basically stops our fun because we can't play g4. So it was it was like a coin flip between knight d5 and castles. Ultimately I went for castling because for some reason I thought if I don't castle, potentially black might be able to support a d5 push with a quicker knight bd7 to b6. So that was kind of my justification for it. Castling is actually objectively not bad, but knight d5 is actually slightly better and a bit less drawish. But I just forgot my repertoire move at the time.
yeah, it's not, I mean, 95 is, um, I guess at least it gives you some flexibility so that you can castle kingside. I
Mm.
mean, castling queenside makes a lot of sense in the context of the English attack. Now that you're not going to play it, um, you need to play more positionally. And you can do so with the king on c1. Then you play king b1, c4, you expand on the queen side. You try to control the light squares. But, I mean, the game takes a different turn. You're not just...
I hate h5,
that's,
man. They take all the fun out of the Najdorf. Come on, man. Like
this is a commitment too. You have
yeah,
to
yeah,
see it both ways.
yeah.
H5 is hard to handle. I mean, at some point, it turns out it's not so easy to castle. You have G5,
Hmm.
some bishop G5.
But you got to
some
admit the
queen.
position is not as fun, right? With h5, it's more positional. Like
Yeah.
who wants
That's
to play a
because you like
positional Najdorf? Yeah.
that's that's modern chess for you.
Mm.
I mean, even in the sharpest lines, you always have options. The depth is incredible. H5 and the game changes completely.
I think my
Um,
experience with the Najdorf though helped me come back from this one though.
yeah, a lot happened in this game.
Yeah.
You castle, knight b7, and now 95. He took with the bishop.
Yeah, I was a little surprised about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably not terrible, but
yeah, because
risk
he
for
wanted to. Yeah, he wanted to play knight b6. But normally you want to put that bishop on f5, like knight takes d5, then bishop f5. That's more typical. Then there's pressure. There's pressure on c2.
yeah, you will have to play bishop d3, I guess. Or else be really patient and play king b1, rook c1, king a1, c4, but I don't think you manage. You probably need to play bishop d3, exchange, then play c4, and at some point this knight has to come to e4. Or on the queen side, or you can try to arrange to push your pawns on the queen side, even though your king is there. That's why it's a bit weird to play it with the long castle, though it's possible and it happens. Bishop takes, okay. Queen c7. I was expecting knight b6. I
Yeah.
figure we'll transpose. Um, Bishop b3, I guess it's fine. You mentioned c4 here, which is okay. Though you had to notice some things. For example, what happens if b5?
I don't know. That's the thing. I didn't want to play c4 because I've never seen this before, and I didn't want to go down this road because I'm just not familiar with. I've never seen c4 in a Najdorf, so it just felt very uncomfortable for me.
It looks odd, but your king is safer than it appears to be. Given that he doesn't have a light square bishop, you're just going to play king b1, rook c1. There's no problem with this diagonal, like never. You're going to play bishop d3, and your space advantage on the queen side allows you to play like this without being afraid of position of your king. Actually, I really like your position here because I can't really imagine how black is going to organize play. For example, you typically like to put a pawn on f5, but without light square bishop, and with the pawn on h5 already, it's going to be tough. b5 has the problem that it leaves these seats unguarded. And you recover the pawn, I guess, after pawn takes. I don't know if you play knight c6 right away, or you can even play king b1 followed by bishop takes. The knight on a5 is quite impressive, and you're ready anytime he plays this take. Again, it's not that it's going to be a draw because of the opposite color bishops. Whoever has the best bishop is usually better in the middle game, so that's fine. If knight b6, well, you can't play like this because of knight b takes d5, I guess, but you do have queen a5.
I saw that, really yeah. Well, actually, I had that also later, and he was worried about that, but I didn't quite. I think it was an option later as well, queen a5.
Queen a5, yeah.
Without c4, I think I had that option, yeah.
But bishop e2 is also fine. I mean, knight b6.
I thought for a long time on bishop e2. But what's that game 3? Bishop e2. Yeah, I thought for 12 minutes. Because this was kind of a transition point, right? It's like, what do I do now? So I think, well, I just wanted to connect my rooks. It's a little bit of a waiting move, and then just to see what black does and commits to. And then I'm also supporting g4. So just kind of like a general multi-purpose move. But yeah, 12-minute think on that, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, it's not an exaggeration. I mean, it's 12 minutes, it's okay. G4 is the wrong plan, though.
I know, yeah. I don't know why he did that, man.
I'm sure you picked that up from this game, and that's the main thing.
Oh yeah, that was the only really mistake.
Yeah, your pawns are just terrible after that. He has e4 for his pieces.
Okay, yeah. I played it after this.
Knight b6.
I played it now.
Bishop
yeah, have to take, and then I played g4.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know. This was just the blunder. Hopefully I get all my blunders out of my system in this tournament, and then in the future ones, I don't have as many. I don't know. It was bizarre, but I think because often the queen isn't on b6 in the Najdorf, and so I just didn't see the issues of a knight coming into e4 and then me not being able to do anything about this. But
also your pawns are kind of all over the place after g4, h takes, f takes. Your pawn structure is also awful, and this bishop gains in strength a lot with your pawns advanced and on light squares. Yeah, it's pretty complicated. This rook activates. It can come to the third rank. It looks dangerous.
So what would your plan be here? If I recall, the computer just wants nothing special, just really slow, tiny incremental improvements like king b1. Yeah.
King b1 is a move you always want to make. I mean, if you castle queenside, king b1 or king b8, in case black castle, I mean, you're just transforming it into some kind of short castle. You have the 3 pawns defended. You remove it from some dangerous ideas on h6, c1. So anytime you get the chance to make a move that you're not forced to make, king b1 makes sense.
So in bullet, you're just playing king b1 there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I wouldn't even think about it. I mean, if I'm not threatened with anything special after I castle, I just go king b1. And in this special case, you still want to expand on the queen side. This really resembles the structure that Carlsen played against Caruana in their match, where you end up pushing all the pawns. Maybe you don't go as far as b4, but c4 is the move, most likely. You have a5 for the knight, at least for the time being. And then, yeah, maybe if you're going to go for a break after c4, bishop d3, f4 might be a good idea because of the e file.
Sorry. So, well, I guess it's black's move here, right?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just talking about.
Yeah, I know, but I like if a5 here.
A5 is interesting. Probably a4.
Whoa, man, really? Okay. I'm not used to that. I've never, okay, that's new. A5,
I mean,
A4.
it's a change. It's a big change. I'm not sure either. But since A4, A3 is coming.
Are you worried about like knight D7 into C5? Like A4, A5, knight D7?
About this knight. The problem is that after
A5, bishop B5. Yeah, if you have A4, bishop B5, I guess.
Oh yeah, A4. Yeah, we get the bishop on B5, which is nice. And then we might try to engineer this break on F4 anyway.
Well, A4, A5. I mean A5, A4. That's interesting because I wouldn't consider that.
Yeah, and the problem is that, I mean, A4 is the threat right now after A5, and I'm not sure how fate. For example, let's say I play Queen D3, A4, Knight D2, something like that. Might be possible, but then with the Queen on D3, then this is annoying again. But
we still have Bishop B5 though.
With the Queen on D3. Exchange queens, but maybe that's a bit too much. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Maybe A5 we can manage to play Queen D3. But A4, Bishop D5 looks natural and kind of comfortable. At least I know I'm not going to get attacked. The pawn A5 is still a bit shaky, and I'm not sure where this king is going. Maybe you play king F8 and leave it there, but then it seems like it's simpler for white to attack with an F4, for example. Yeah, I would probably take that as white. If you start with A5, you have that risk that your pawns might get paralyzed on light squares. And then you're the one who has a break in the center. So, yeah, that's a way, I guess.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah, other than that, I guess C4 is, I don't know if a threat right now, but it looks reasonable. I don't know what black plays here, 97 maybe? 97.
Yeah, yeah, maybe trying for F5 or something.
F5, yeah, it's a bit too weakening, I guess.
Probably knight D7 or rook C8 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, rook c8 is also a move you want to make. c4 is probably going to come. And then a5. Rook c8, c4 threatens c5. Because if pawn takes, this sits. But if knight d7 first, I don't know. And because c4, a5 is now a bit annoying. I don't have a4 anymore. Maybe we can get.
I was just looking. I was just looking at that. Yeah.
Though a knight's going to land on e5, so I'm not entirely sure. Maybe bishop d3.
But then we get knight. Then we get knight d4, maybe.
Yeah.
Knight d4 into knight f5. Knight f5 is nice.
Yeah, I'll probably be really careful here and play bishop d3. Slowly improving. a5, we still have a4, I guess. So yeah, it's a positional game. It's really different from what you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
In neither, definitely. I still like your position, to be honest. You have that extra little space that makes it more pleasant to play, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I would take white here.
But yeah, patience is definitely required. Yeah, after g4, well, this is just a different thing now. 94. Yeah, you missed 94 altogether, probably. Rook h g1. And
so yeah, so I didn't write this in my annotations, but my opponent did something that annoys me. I've only really noticed, well, I guess some older players do it too, but mostly like younger players do this, namely like teenagers. But he when he took on h2, he like slammed down the rook like loudly and like proudly, and yeah, I hate when you do that. It's disrespectful. I don't know if he. It's possible that he. I mean, it was his first over-the-board tournament, and I talked to him after the game. He was a nice guy, but it's possible he didn't realize that you shouldn't be loud and stuff. But it definitely felt like a boom. Look at this move! You just dropped a pawn. And so it kind of annoyed me, but at the same time, I knew I'm like, oh man, how like you just blundered. Yeah, so that was kind of like, that's why I played rook h g1, because I realized like g4 I just blundered the game, and so I wanted to try to keep things I wanted to give myself as many possibilities to get back into the game now. So I wanted to keep things I want to make things as difficult as possible. So that's why I kind of okay, maybe I've got some attacks here and so on and so forth. He can't take on h2. He can't go queen f2. But yeah, he did end up taking on h2, and it was kind of surprising. He played it pretty quickly, and he showed some of his inexperience in this game, being his first tournament. Some of the moves he made, yes, because he thought here for only 2 minutes, and if you're going to take a pawn, you should spend a bit more time, it's that's, I mean, so.
Yeah, he probably saw too many movies, because in the movies they're always trash talking there. Even in Queen's Gambit.
Oh yeah, they're talking. Yeah, they are. They talk a lot during the game.
Yeah. Rook takes. Unfortunately for you, he has.
Yeah, black is still better. Yeah.
Yeah. Pawn takes, but he had to play a really cool move. I mean, queen e3 followed by queen takes f3. He has so many pawns for the rook, for the exchange.
Yeah, but you know, even so, I would have been happy though. I mean, I was thrilled that he took on H2 because it gave me a morale boost, you know, after blundering G4. So I even if he had found the best move here, I would have felt really good. And the position I think is imbalanced enough that I would have felt good here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really the point. He's not playing alone anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
he had all initiative, and now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a mess.
I've got chances for sure. Yeah. A lot of chances here.
And he does. He played King D7, which I don't understand.
I asked him about that because I'm like, I said King D7. That was kind of weird. Yeah, he was scared of the queen coming back here and gobbling up pawns. So he was scared of that. So proactively he played King D7. It was I think again that was a little bit of his showed a little bit of his newness to over the board play, but.
Yeah, he's giving you some extra lives. F takes, rook takes a2, g5.
Yeah, I saw knight e4, but I didn't see the underlying tactics of knight c3 like that. So I didn't quite see all of those possibilities. Yeah, because my plan here was queen h3 and to queen f5. But then I missed a tactic. I think it's rook. I think it was rook a1, or is it
queen e3 right away? Maybe.
I don't think it had to do with queen. I thought there was a tactic here, or maybe it's just bringing the queen to the a file. It might just be bringing the queen to the a file. Yeah, that might be the tactic, and then.
But then queen takes e4, and you have.
Well, okay. Well, sorry. So after, so what? So what are we? So we're looking at a check here, I guess, like this.
Yeah. No. What's going on here?
I thought there was a tactic here.
Really looks like there should be, but oh no, my bad. I thought that this pawn is hanging, but no.
Thought it was. I'm itching to look at the engine. I'm not going to though, but because I could be wrong. Maybe it was a different move, but I thought there was a tactic here.
Not finding it.
I'm gonna sneak a peek. Yeah, there is one. Yeah, there is. So it is rook a1. This is rook a1 here.
Oh, g1 is hanging afterwards. Knight takes a1, queen e3.
Oh yeah, and then knight c3. Or is it? Well, good to see. Good that you missed it too. I feel better. But yeah. There was a tactic here.
And now knight d2.
Yeah. Okay. There's also another line where knight c3 actually wins, but it might be there's a different variation. Like I don't think it was the queen here.
Is this a draw after knight d2?
Yeah.
Queen e7.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You had to see queen a7, and he can't go here because queen a4 followed by queen.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Wow.
But there was another line. But where black actually wins.
It's just a draw. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, but there's another line where the queen actually threatens to come in and mate here, where the knight goes into c3, and then the queen threatens to mate on b2. There's another variation where that is possible. But I don't know if it's right here. It might be later on.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's here because there are no things on G5 or anything. I don't know how you
Yeah, I
prevent
think
this.
I think it's later when my king goes to B1, and then that tactic happens or is possible. So yeah, so
That's
I
amazing.
yeah, so because I was thinking king B1 or G5,
But
but
that would be a great result for you. I mean, that was interesting, though I doubt you'll find this. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard.
well, he was actually looking at that. He was looking at tactics here. He told me. Um,
And honestly,
yeah, he was looking at that type of stuff. But I ended up going with G5 because I have Queen H3 and then Queen F5. I just didn't see because I was looking at this stuff myself. Like, did he have any follow up? But I didn't see it. I didn't see. I even looked at Rook A1, but then I didn't see the follow up of. Wait, I already forgot. Wait, how did it go?
G5,
G5.
H3, King D8
Oh yeah, once my
was.
queen moves off. Okay, yeah, and then to check, and then check. Yeah. Ooh.
It looks like, yeah, many ideas to draw the game, but he's running out of pieces, so it's hard to get more than that for black. um, and he should be better than that. Well, at least the problem is he played King D7, and it gets trickier. King B1 looks fine, but he went
Yeah.
back. He should have played Queen A7 or something like that, I guess.
Oh, I played
And
king.
this
Yeah,
is
I played king B1. Yeah, I should have played queen H3, right?
Queen H3 looked like a nice opportunity. Rook A8, I don't think this is. I mean,
No,
this is way too
that was
small
yeah,
for.
that was a blunder. Yeah, if I
That's,
recall, he had to go either Rook A4, defending the knight for this exact reason, or else bring the queen to the A file.
yeah, this looks more natural. I think here because at least we get to keep diagonal, but
Oh, and then
that's something
yeah,
nice with
that was
this.
that was the tactic coming into B2. Yeah.
So even here it's confusing because after knight C3 you still have king to C1, so tough. It's really tough. And you can still play queen H3 check, so knight C3 is not a thing anymore. Something like this. It's extremely complicated though. Now you have C3 under control.
Yeah, this is uncomfortable for me though.
Wonder what happens if I'm really reluctant to play this. Oh, we can't even take because of the rook hanging here, I guess. But what if rook
Wait,
H to F1, for example? Don't know if it works, but it's a very interesting idea. B4.
just wonder. What about just knight G5?
Knight takes C5. Well, that's interesting, but he's coming with check. I don't know.
Just hide.
Side. Maybe queen B4. Yeah, you capture a lot of pawns, so your pieces are kind of all over the place. This knight has nowhere to go. Not E4, F3, B5 is falling, almost.
Oh, did you want this because of check?
Yeah, check queen
Yeah,
a3 and
okay,
this is
I see. Yeah, because I see how you arrived there now. Because I was looking at rook b2, and then if only we can get the queen here. So, okay.
looks interesting. I don't know what's happening here. I mean, if rook takes f7, there's still rook takes b2, king c1. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah,
Looks very
so allowing this knight to e4, this is actually very dangerous, this knight.
still a bit,
I
a
wonder
little
if I
bit
can
short.
take on f7. Oh, I guess I can't. I can't run, right? So no, because it's. Oh, or maybe I can. Can I run?
I think there's draw here if rook takes c2. Let me see if I'm correct. King takes, queen a2 check. You can't go to d3 because takes.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to keep yourself on c1. Queen a3 check.
Mm.
Oh, but there's still king b1. Nice e3.
Wait. Sorry. If we go back.
Oh no, we can't play like that.
Oh, sorry. We're pinned. I was looking at this. We're pinned. Okay, sorry.
Oh yeah, they're pinned. King b1 actually loses, I think. Or is it still a draw? I was looking at this, but I'm getting checkmated. So.
Oh, that's so much to calculate, though. Holy moly.
But there's still king. Oh no, I did checkmate. Ouch. So my bad. I have to play king c2, queen a2, and it's a draw.
Yeah, that's. Whew, I would have to invest so much time though calculating all of that.
There are checkmates everywhere. It's crazy. Yeah, before was interesting. At least it would have given you something to think about. That's if I'm not missing some winning move for black.
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's really sharp.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I miss something. Yeah, because there is also a rook takes f7. There's also knight c3, and if pawn takes queen a3, I don't know how that goes.
Yeah, that just wins for black.
There's also this, but this time around you have rook a1 and d1 with check, which is terrible. So pawn takes, queen a3, rook takes, and now king b6, rook takes.
Or just
it's enough for a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so at least. Yeah, king b6, rook takes b7. Oh no, maybe this is also thin.
King a6.
King a6, queen d3, king here again. Yeah, apparently it's a draw.
Yeah, that.
Oh, queen e3 and queen c1. Ouch. Oh no. So maybe king b8. But then rook e8 and queen e3 and queen here. Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
Every time you step here, there's check and queen c1.
We still do that. Oh, okay.
We have to play rook e8, king c7, and now we invade with the queen. I'm not even sure this what's happening here.
King b6.
But now it's looking really suspicious.
King b5.
King b5 is the only move. Queen d7.
King b6. Oh, but then we're grabbing pawns.
Yeah. We're starting. So king c4. Now queen c7. Yeah.
No king walk for you.
Yeah. I mean, it was great.
There were a lot. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of options.
Very interesting though. Rook A8 is way too slow to work, I guess.
I can see why he played it though. I mean, because I thought he might play Rook E8, just stopping my queen from going to H8. So I understand why he played it.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is so slow though. I mean, it takes forever.
Well, because I think also he wanted to get his queen in front of the rook. So he wanted this.
Yeah, trying to set up that pattern.
Yeah.
And threaten checkmate, actually. It's way too slow. Now you threaten no time to go queen e7. But now, should he just... Yeah, now it's difficult for him.
Yeah, I felt good.
Yeah, now he took, that's a piece, and it's post king, so that's it. This one was very interesting. I mean, this was a legitimate swindle. But here you clearly were in good spirits to keep fighting, because that rook HG1.
Yeah, that gave me a lot of energy. Yeah. I needed that, especially after the first two games. I mean, I blundered this game too, so I blundered 3 games in a row. I blundered all of them, but I needed somebody to blunder back against me. So I fed off of that energy. Plus, it was a Najdorf, so white or black in a Najdorf. The positions I'm familiar with them, and I feel comfortable in them with them.
Happy to play it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I gave him some words of encouragement after, because he was feeling really down actually, because he lost his first 3 games over the board, and he felt really bad. And I'm like, hey, it's your first tournament. I mean, like, it's hard to do really well in your first tournament, and this is normal. And but because he was really not feeling good. And I said, you have 2 more games to go, and they're going to get easier and easier. Your opponents will get easier and easier. So, he's 2000 on Lichess Classical. It's what I found out after the game. So,
yeah, it's a tough experience. It's very different. I mean, time control is.
Yeah, the main thing is that he was so tired. He couldn't believe how tired he was and how tiring over the board play is. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely something. So he wasn't prepared for how much energy it takes. Yeah. But he's younger than me. He should have more energy than me. I'm like twice his age. And I had to travel. I had to travel to the tournament. He lives in the city, so I only have so much sympathy for him because.
Yeah, but he was bred in online
Yeah,
chess. So
yeah.
It's the transition.
He did fine though. I mean, he ended up with about 1350 rating for his first rating. I mean, that's good, right? That's your first over the board rating. Yeah, so sure. he has nothing to be ashamed about.
No, I mean it's going to be like that. If you go into your first tournament, you can't expect.
Yeah, and actually. He played in the premier section. I'm like, what do you do? Why are you playing in the premier section your first tournament? I mean, I mean, like, he was really sad that he lost the first 3 games. I'm like, dude, you're playing in the premier section. Like, yeah, like what? You can't expect to win all your games in the premier section. There was actually an unrated guy in the tournament. And he was rated 2,500 online. So his first rating, he's unrated. His first rating provisional was 2,249 over the board. Crazy. And there's another guy who he's underrated. He was 2,100, he gained a lot of rating in this tournament as well. But in the previous tournament, even at that one, he was rated 2,000 something, right? And he drew Grandmaster Joel Benjamin.
Oh.
Yeah. He drew. He's 2,000. He drew Joel Benjamin. So there's the environment is really crazy right now. There's some really strong Smurfs out there.
Yeah, I mean, these unrated guys that play very well, it happens a lot. I mean, was he a young player or was he...
This guy?
Yeah, the unrated 2500.
No, they're in their 20s, I think, early 20s. Yeah.
Yeah, there's these people that play a lot of rapid. They play with clubs or anything, and they're just strong, and they play against strong opposition, and they don't play FIDE rated until they do, and they play quite well.
Yeah.
Happens a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, we still have 2 more games.
So we could save them to the next lesson if you like.
At least both are really long.
They're long. One of them are almost 3 score sheets. Yeah, one of them was 70.
Yeah, both of them go to the 60 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they were both unrated. Sorry?
Yeah, and they have end games which I'm interested in. So
they require more attention. Yeah. It was just a shame because I made so many blunders in that last game, but I should have won both of them. I definitely should have won both, especially game 4. Game 4, I can't believe I let him slip out of my hands. Oh my God. I totally should have won those games. But
4 is against Pager?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I was like +8 the whole game.
Those Rook end games.
Well, yeah, it was both because of time pressure. It's not like, because in that game, I was down to, wait, is this the right one? Smita 4. Wait, that can't be right. Oh yeah. So that game I was down to under 4 minutes for about 12 moves. And as I said before, in the last game I was down to 1 minute for 40 moves. I mean, that's so yeah.
Not even online.
And then writing down the moves and the time, but the time management. But yeah, we can cover those next time, and I will try to get some more classical games played as well online.
Yeah, good to know that you're going to play a lot of over the world tournaments in the upcoming months. That's going to do you a lot of good.
Yeah, the one coming up next month, I'll be in. I think I'm in the under 1900.
Under 19.
Yeah. Let me just quickly double check it. I'm just curious. I think I am.
Many worthy opponents. I mean, under 1900 is already.
Yeah, so let's see. There's a premier, an under 19, and under 15. Yeah, so I'll be in the under 1900 section, and I'm one of the lower, obviously, because the other section's under 1500. So I'm near the bottom, which I like. There's no pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're very well known that you can easily defeat a 1900 and I think an 1800. You can manage that totally. So it's very nice when you're like 400 points lower than your opponent, and you know that you can win the game. That's and I feel that too. Like I know that there's like I'm not scared of someone like, well, first of all, like a 1700,
I'm not scared of a 1700 because I think I can hold my own with the average 1700. I think I can hold my own. An 1800, I'm a bit more scared of. I haven't. I think I've only played like one 1800 before, but at the same time, I have the confidence where I think like it's still possible for me to win.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they're going to make mistakes that you can definitely punish. Yeah.
Yeah, and I often feel that when there's that large of a gap, I think a lot of players tend to become, or maybe not overconfident, but they may not give me the credit I deserve, you know, because I'm just a low 1500. They think of me as nothing, so I kind of sneak under the radar a little bit.
Because the surprise, see, it's not so simple. It really works in your favor because not only they realize too late that the game is going to be tough, maybe they get into worse position, and it's also psychologically very difficult when you're supposed to win and then you have to save yourself.
Yeah, or they go out of their way. They go out of their way to avoid a draw, so they lose. That's a good feeling too, but yeah.
There are many ways in which things can go wrong for them, and you just need to be calm to pick up your chances because they're going to happen.
Yeah, and as I say, it's a 6-rounder, which I love because even if I have a bad start, I've got opportunity to come back. Like even if I lose the first 3 games, I could still have a good tournament. If I score 3 out of 6 in an under 1900, that's a pretty good result. So
you don't need to worry a lot about the result. That's always nice.
Yeah.
This thing of being the underdog happened to me a lot in open tournaments when I was around 2000, because I would always play against a field master, international master, who were supposed to beat me quite handily, and I was a kid. I was making progress, steady progress, and I knew that I could put serious trouble in their way. Many times you win because they underestimate you, or they just feel so pressured to win that they end up doing something crazy.
Yeah.
Happens.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah. So and it's coming up soon. I think I'm going maybe 3.5 weeks. I mean, it's going to happen quickly. So I am enjoying it, and I look forward to it. Yeah. And then the next tournament will be under 1700, and that's the best tournament of the year. That one I would love to win the section. It's hard though because I'm under 1700. There's about a 200 point rating gap. But I played in that tournament 3 years ago, and I had a good chance to win it then, because I think I was 4 out of 4, and then I lost the 5th round. I think that's what happened. Okay, sorry. Anyways, I'll let you go, and next lesson we can look over these next 2 games. Yeah, as you mentioned, they're very long, so there's a lot to go over there, and also kind of some interesting king and pawn endgames, I think, and rook and pawn.
Yeah, those I'm interested in. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you again, Alessandro, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.